after a number of years there, I wanted to be out of the system because the teach and test thing had taken over under a by then Conservative government, and I became helped to set up the Children's University, which was all about learning outside the classroom, particularly for disadvantaged youngsters.
Yeah.
And that then resulted into me going to Kidzania first in the UK with my friend Joel Cadbury, and then later, not long after that, globally. And I think the big lesson for me looking back at that is that there are no straight lines.
Mm-hmm.
We teach children that there are straight lines. If you do this, this happens, and if you do this, this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are not scared, and if you are reasonably confident in what you do, you will be confident enough to recognize that there are no straight lines, and that you can go to many places, and that you should follow your head, but you should also follow your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So from Kidzania onwards then, which became, I was their first education director, we then did lots of global research with universities, and I now advise companies and governments, and I'm in charge of my own inbox. But
Mm-hmm.
the main thing was about, follow your heart as well as your head. But you need to get children to understand that that the role models are there for them, and you need to get every adult, literally every adult on the planet, to understand that there is a very high probability that at some point, even for the shortest period of time, a child looks at you and goes, I quite want to be like him.
Yeah.
And that's one hell of a responsibility, but what an honor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mine go from my German teacher to Mrs. Daines to people to this day I meet and think, oh my God, I wish that's amazing, right? And interestingly, incidentally, the role models are not just, because we tend to think that they're always about older people. But I look at you and I think, oh God, I wish I'd had the courage to do certain things that I know you've done. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to not do this, we need to do this as well.
Contribute
I talk a lot about putting things in your back pocket. I think every experience, good or bad, you should put something in your back pocket, because at some point the time may come when you go, I've got that.
Yeah.
I know what to do with that. Yeah. Or if you don't know what, because that's the other thing, isn't it? Education is not about you being able to do everything. Education is about you being able to seek the solutions. And so that may mean, and certainly with me it does, most things I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty good at knowing people who do.
Yeah.
And it's about that side of things.